We focus on affordable luxury is what I would say best describes the lodges that we're doing. I think there's too many lodges, which was way overpriced these days, taken away from a lot of guys. We feel that we give the same comfort levels and experience as those top lodges, but they're much more affordable. And Duncan and his lodges in Botswana and our lodges kind of fit the same model. So, we feel if you've got a client that's sort of coming in on the same budget in Bots as they are in Zim, they're going to be comfortable moving between both countries. And really the catalyst that drawn us all together has been Anthony. He's seen the vision um, and put this whole thing together. He came and spent time with me in Zimbabwe and other lodge owners, did the homework, had a look at the product, and he was excited by it. And he said, "All right, Graham, I think we can do something together." And this has all come about fairly quickly. We've been lodge owners for years, but in all honesty, we've struggled because we didn't have the marketing network that we felt we. It's what I'm actually seeing now is what you need, and I think there's strength in being able to look after your clients throughout their stay. It becomes disjointed if they booking with one company here and another company there. We're kind of trying to be able to give the group of clients everything they want, either in Bots or Zim.
And promoting in Europe, how are you getting the UK tour operators and Irish tour operators across?
Well, I mean, really, that's Anthony. Anthony, that's why we've come in there. I mean, he's got a huge network. He's been in the business 30 plus years. So he's built up a massive network of tour operators, agents, and right now our main focus is trying to get the message out that what we've set up. This is very new. I think there's a lot of eyes that have been coming across here and saying, what are these guys doing? And that's particularly Zimbabwe. Botswana is an established thing. Zimbabwe's always it's had its problems, going back politically, and we all know that. And Zim got left behind when it came to the rest of Africa. But it's becoming more and more desirable as a destination now, and we feel our timing's pretty good. Um, I think I was chatting to one of the main guys from Tourvest the other day, and they were saying they study all the statistics, tourist statistics. That's why they're so big. And they were saying that Zimbabwe is probably, I think, was the only country that tourism's numbers are going up. And it's not because Zimbabwe is better, it's just because when you're there, it's easy to go up. So I think Zim right now is a good opportunity. It's for guys to come up. I think you in Zim, because it hasn't been so oversubscribed like a lot of these countries have, you can also get a really almost exclusive isn't the right word, but you're not fighting 20 other game viewing vehicles over a lion kill or seeing 30 boats on the river.
We were talking about boats yesterday.
Yeah.
What's your special license you have for?
So yeah, we're very fortunate. In Mana Pools, we're the only safari lodge operator that has allowed boats on the Zambezi. Motorized boats were outlawed pre-independence in Zimbabwe, and Mana Pools originally was done to protect the nesting sites of a bird there called a pratincal. And they said the wake of boats would wash the nets out. I think it was an excuse for them to stop boats, because in all the time I've been in Mana, you see hardly any pratinculls. But we were fortunate in that we had a lodge in the Sapi area next door to Mana, which allowed boats. And when Great Plains came along and took that lease, or wanted that lease, Parks asked us to give up our lease and they'd give us a site in Mana, which was pretty cool. But we also said to them, that's fine, but we want the same conditions and terms that we have currently, which allows boating. And reluctantly, they agreed, and it's enshrined in our lease, so nobody can take that away from us. And we are. I mean, we're
So
fortunate.
why can you be affordable? What is your special message here? Or is it
Well, I mean,
areas you've chosen?
well, yeah, I think if lodges start becoming so overpriced or highly priced, I mean, there's an element of greed involved there. Supply and demand, guys are trying to milk it for everything they can. I think in Zimbabwe, we haven't been able to push those massively high prices, $2,000 a night, because there hasn't been the client base coming into Zimbabwe that allows that.
Come around as a result of those.
Yeah. So now you got to look at it and you know sort of see where you're profitable. I mean, we don't need to make a lot of money out of our lodges. We need to make a profit and we need to pay our bills. So we feel that affordable luxury, is within our grasp. Yeah.
Face it, with the world as it is at the moment, we all need affordable luxury.
Right. Exactly. For me, whether you viewing a lion in the Serengeti or in Kruger National Park or in Mana Pools, it's a lion, isn't it? So that's what people are coming to Africa to see. They've seen lions and elephants and wildness and nature at its best. I don't think there's that much emphasis that needs to be put on to the Egyptian silk sheets and the $200 bottle of champagne. I think if you had to choose,
The emphasis has to be on good guiding.
yeah, exactly.
Guiding is everything.
Good guiding is essential, and Zimbabwe has some of the best guides in Africa. We've got by far the hardest way to get a guide's license in Zim. It's a 3-4 year, almost like getting a university degree. So the guides that are produced in Zim are exceptional, and that translates back into the guests. Yeah, but for me, it's more about the wildlife, and then just making sure your clients are comfortable. But if you want to go and stay in a 7-star lodge, well, then book into the Ritz-Carlton in London or New York. I think in the bush, you want to hear the lions roar. You want to, you want to be part of nature. That's more important to me than this ultra luxury. So, yeah, I mean, when you say how can you do affordable luxury, well, because we don't go and spend $5 million building a lodge. If you spend $5 million building a lodge, well, you need to get that $5 million back. You're not going to get it back at $500, $600 a day.
It's a very practical way forward at the moment. Zimbabwe's having a lot of
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah,
Coming back up in the market, it's been down.
yeah. And I think people need to trust you again. They need to know they're going to be looked after and safe, more importantly. I mean, which they are. And, Zim's wildlife and its wild areas are as good as anywhere in Africa. I mean, some of this.
Back, hasn't it, all the wildlife?
Yeah, it never really went away. But, the management of the wildlife is better and better. There's probably with the social media and the advent of all of this, there's a much more awareness of it. And I think there's also easier to bring accountability if things are going wrong, like mining. So right now, I'll give you a good example. In Zimbabwe and Wangi National Park, there's a push for a Chinese company to get mining in there, right there by the Cinematella. And by law, they had to gazette their application to get a mining prospecting license. And that's gone viral because, we were instrumental in it, as were a lot of people, but getting it out there that, these guys are going to be coming and ripping up an iconic piece of Zimbabwe. Right in the park. Yeah, I mean, I can send you all the links.
Have you managed to stop that yet?
Not yet. They had an online meeting the other day. Everybody was invited to join it. It was depressing, I mean, the minister. So in Zimbabwe, the Ministry of Mines overrides Ministry of Tourism, and that license can be granted by the Minister of Mines, and Minister of Tourism and National Parks can't do anything about it. We feel that the only way to combat this is through social media. The world needs to know. But like Cecil the Lion, Same story.
It's reminding how much tourism can do for his country,
Exactly.
bringing income.
Yeah, and just the, here we are building the confidence back up. But it's not just Zimbabwe. I mean, Zambia's had the same issues for mining. I mean, it's all over Africa, really.
Excellent. Thank you.